Hey guys, it's Bob Baxa. There's Steve Barrett, and this is kind of a weird situation.
And a
right
sad
now,
day.
It's a very sad day. As we are recording this, it's Wednesday night. It is 6:27 Eastern Time. And what happened is that last night, on Tuesday night, we recorded the second weekly episode of Barrett Baxa Media Shmedia, and Steve was going to release that tomorrow on Thursday, or like Thursday night, Friday morning.
I think this will be our episode. Let's just get right to it. We don't need to explain to people. Bob, a horrible thing happened in the United States.
These motherfuckers shot Charlie Kirk and killed. They assassinated Charlie Kirk, and I'm so fucking pissed right now. There's going to be a lot of cursing. Watch your language.
Don't get that angry,
There's going to be
Bob.
a lot of cursing in this episode. My best girl doesn't like me to curse, but there will be cursing, and I'm so pissed at. I mean, how much more violence do we have to accept from the left before
suffer, not accept. Enough? We suffer it. Violence is suffering.
How much more until we say enough's enough? I mean, seriously, it is unbelievable.
This is a man who all he wanted to do, Bob, was talk to people on college campuses and tell them something that they weren't hearing in the classrooms.
He was like Socrates. I heard him compared to Socrates, and that's not a joke, because the Socratic method is to ask a question, not to tell you what to think, to ask you, what do you think about this? Hey, this guy says XYZ. What do you think? Do you think it is XYZ, or do you maybe think it's ABC? Now explain to me why you think he's wrong and this one is right. That's the Socratic method, and that's what Charlie Kirk did. He asked questions of...
He went in the public square, and said, what do you think? And now let me tell you what I think. That's all he did. And apparently, according to the left, that's what he did wrong.
Right. And, one of the themes I would always hear at these college campuses, because he would always say, if you disagree, come to the front. And so people, of course, a lot of people disagreed, but they would always be like, you're a professional. Why are you here debating college students? Like, it's an unfair fight. And he would always say...
He started this as a college student. At 18 years old, he's the guy that went to college campuses and said, hey, I'm going to start a social media network, and I'm just going to talk to people about things that I don't feel like they're being taught in the classroom. And so he started having these conversations with these people, and he's been doing it ever since. He puts himself out there in the middle of a crowd at a tent with obviously not a lot of security, but this guy did nothing wrong to deserve.
But the way he would always address that sort of accusation, and I would hear that this was a very common accusation that, hey, this isn't fair. You're a savvy media professional, and we're just college students. Why are you doing this? And he would always say, are you a voter? And of course, the kid, not a kid, an adult. If you're 20, this is one of the problems in our country. 20-year-olds, you're not a fucking kid. You're an adult, okay? In 1941, you went to freaking D-Day and fought the Germans. Like, at 20,
at the age of 18, when Charlie Kirk decided to do what he was going to do on college campuses, there were other men 50, 60, 70 years before who were going to war for this country.
Correct. On Omaha Beach. We've all seen Saving Private Ryan. The first scene where they put down the doors and it's just da-da-da-da-da-da, and every one of those boys was killed. I have an uncle who was killed on D-Day. So you're not a kid. You're an adult. You're a 21 or 20 or 22-year-old adult. And he would always say, are you a voter? Yes, I'm here talking to voters. That's what Charlie Kirk was doing. Talking to voters. He was talking, and you assassinated him.
But they killed him because he disagreed with their opinions, and that's the fucking problem on the left. Is they decide that if you disagree with me, something should be done about you. Something should be done about you for disagreeing with me.
See,
you cocky motherfuckers.
We don't like you. We hate your ideas. Your ideas are destroying our country. But we will tell you why your ideas suck. We don't want to kill you. We want to convince you. We want to persuade
But that's what
you.
made them mad about Charlie Kirk, is that he was convincing them. He was succeeding at convincing them that their opinion might not be based in the reality that they think it's based in.
Correct. And this generation, everyone knows that Gen Z is going further and further and further right. And I'll say one of my catchphrases. It's the easiest thing in the world to predict. When your mother is a radical leftist, I know a lot of 22-year-old men. Their mothers are liberal, and so of course they are conservative. And Charlie Kirk spoke to those young people. And it wasn't just men. It was women. It was everyone. And on these college campuses, he would draw thousands. You know how hard it is? I mean, Steve and I would love to draw thousands to this stupid, idiotic podcast. It's hard to draw thousands with this media landscape, with
but
this
Bob,
many
in this media
options.
landscape now, guess what happens? Even guys like us probably should worry a little bit. I've actually had people text me and go, hey, Steve,
I know.
the stuff you're saying on the podcast, you might want to watch out considering what happened to Charlie Kirk. Well,
believe me,
here's my prayer.
Today.
Here's my prayer.
Fuck you,
that
is my
Charlie
answer.
Kirk's death. My prayer is that Charlie Kirk's death created 100 million more Charlie Kirks.
I love that prayer. And
I
will
hope
happen.
that on college campuses around our nation, I'm an old guy. Charlie Kirk is young enough to be my son. Like, I have children
He's a different
older
generation
than Charlie Kirk, right?
Right.
And I hope to God, I pray to God that Charlie Kirk's death is that turning point, so to speak, in American history. And that this guy will be recorded in history like Paul Revere.
Yes.
Like Martin Luther King.
He will be that important in history.
He needs to be that important. There should be statues of Charlie Kirk erected throughout this nation.
He brought politics to a young generation. Trust me, I know young men in this and women in this age group, and they are watching TikTok videos about cats. They're not into politics. And Charlie Kirk got these kids into politics. And again,
and got
they're
them
not
thinking
kids.
about
You're
what
adults.
they were saying. Like, what are you saying about abortion? Or what are you saying about socialism? Or what are you saying about immigration? Or what are you saying? Like, so he would question them in a way that they'd never been questioned before. And that's all he wanted to do since he was a kid. That's all he did. 18 to 31. That's all Charlie Kirk did.
It's crazy.
He was the Rush Limbaugh of social media.
He was.
He essentially said, hey, wait a second. College campuses do not have a conservative viewpoint. Let's give them a conservative viewpoint. That's all he did, and he died doing it.
Colleges are just way too radically left, and we're tired of your bullshit. We're tired of you saying that merely questioning whether transgenderism is a good idea, that we're calling for
can't question anything.
It's a genocide. You're not allowed to say,
you can't question immigration. You can't question tax policy. You can't question welfare policy. You can't question any of it, or we will shoot you in the neck.
Correct. We will kill you if you question our viewpoints, and we're not going to fucking tolerate it anymore. And we're coming after you people. We're going to find this guy. We're going to arrest him. We're going to put him on trial, and we're going to put him away for life in prison. And we're just not going to tolerate this bullshit anymore. So basically, Steve and I wanted to come on tonight, and there was no way that we couldn't, discuss this. So I don't know what else can we really say.
So I feel like
horrible.
okay, I kind of feel like I'm not trying to compare myself to the great Charlie Kirk, like at all. Like he is a master. He figured out social media. He figured out how to do what we're trying to do here. He did it live on college campuses for all the world to see, right? We don't even do that. We just record it, right? You're not going to debate me on something usually. We'll go back and forth. But here's my point. I think that after this little segment that we just did, we should roll our normal episode and let it roll, give it to people. And let them think about like the things that we say.
Yeah.
It's our opinion, and we don't deserve to die for our opinions.
Right.
People
Everyone
like us,
in the
like
United
people
States.
on the left, you don't deserve to die for your opinion. If you are in the school of transgenders need, like that's the most important thing in the United States right now is transgenderism and transgender rights. Fine. I don't have a problem with that. I'll argue with you. I don't want to kill you. I don't want you dead.
That is,
and that's where we've crossed a line. Is that I feel like right now, and Bob, look, today for some reason I've got like, it really pissed me off what happened to Charlie Kirk.
Me too.
It horrified me.
I think we're all very, very upset about it.
And it shocked me.
This guy, I mean,
but
it's unbelievable.
I think it brought me further to your side of the fence than it did to whoever did this side of the fence.
I know.
Okay? I don't agree with you all the time, Bob, and I think that sometimes your opinions are a little bit ridiculous, and I tell you that they are when I think that they are. But you don't want to kill me.
No, and I don't want to kill
you don't
leftists.
want me dead because I don't agree with you
them.
sometimes.
Correct. I just want to laugh at leftists, and we need to.
You can't laugh at them anymore, Bob.
No,
it's done.
way too serious.
I think the laughing at the vitriol against the conservative point of view has gotten to a level that this is what is happening. The president has almost been assassinated twice.
Right.
A conservative
don't forget Steve
voice.
Scalise. Steve Scalise.
But there's also Gabby Giffords. Like there's been political violence on both sides, but right now the trend is political violence on the left. The left has become violence. They've become violence. The left needs to dial it back and say, this is not what we're going to say anymore. We're not going to say confront them when they're in public. Confront them at the restaurant that they are at. Confront them anywhere you can.
Yes.
Stop it.
And,
Stop it. We have different opinions.
See, Nicole Wallace
okay, I'm going to believe that.
She's already comparing... she's already talking about the fact that Charlie Kirk's rhetoric was inflammatory, so maybe he deserved
Charlie
it.
Kirk didn't do anything to deserve being shot in the neck in front of thousands of college students.
You're going to see in the next few days, it's going to become more and more Charlie Kirk's rhetoric caused this, it's his own fault. Actually, was because Joe Biden issued a statement, big fucking deal. It was issued by someone else, and Kamala Harris issued a statement. So those two put out statements condemning the violence. And at 5 p.m. on MSNBC, or 4 p.m., whatever Nicole Wallace's show starts, she came on and said, well, you know, both Joe Biden and Kamala Harris quickly condemned the violence. And I don't want to play the game of checking timestamps, but I don't think that Republicans were quite this quick with Paul Pelosi's attack. She's comparing Charlie Kirk to Paul Pelosi.
This says it all. Okay, this says it all. I'm looking right now as I speak at the MSNBC.com front page. It says, MAGA influencer Charlie Kirk is dead after shooting at Utah University. No, Charlie Kirk was assassinated in front of thousands of college students at Utah University. Get your fucking headlines straight, MSNBC, and tell it like it is.
It's not a passive event. No, it's not a passive event.
Yeah, this isn't he is dead after a shooting.
Right.
No, he's not dead after a shooting. He was shot to death.
Yes, he was shot.
This is the bullshit that needs to end in the media. And
I agree.
From here, we're emotional right now, but we're going to give you the episode that we promised to give you, because I think that it's what Charlie Kirk would have wanted us to do.
It is. And so coming up is the new episode of Barrett Baxa Media, Shmedia. We love you guys.
Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. You're a great man.
Charlie Kirk.
And I pray that the death of Charlie Kirk creates 100 million more Charlie Kirks.
Wait, Bob Jordan just texted me. Hang on.
What did he say?
I don't know. Let's see. In case it's important for this. Hey, Bob, just watched my 4th or 5th episode. I believe that either of you or both of you could sustain a career on the emerging list of conservative channels. I would not say this if I had any doubts. The two of you should be on Fox News. We need to talk about this. I am serious.
Wow.
Dude,
okay, Bob's our biggest. Maybe that's how we start the podcast right there with Bob texting us.
Who is this guy?
So we get a Bob Jordan text right as we're about to begin our first midweek version of the show.
Yeah, and who is this guy? Who is this nice guy who kisses people's asses?
Friendly Bob Jordan.
Where was he when he was screaming at me because I talked about the fog incorrectly?
Yeah, we're going to have to get into that. But first, Bob, we're going to tell people what's coming up. First thing is coming up is this stabbing in Charlotte. It's horrific. Yeah. It's terrible. And it's a huge Shmedia story to me because of the way the local media apparently reacted to possibly a request from the mayor about that horrible video. And so we're finding out about it kind of now during the last week when it really happened last month. But you have some strong opinions. Don't get into them yet because we're just telling them what's coming up. But you're excited or not excited about it. You're angered by it and I'm very upset. Angered.
Yeah, and everyone knows. The thing that pisses me off is when everyone knows the answer to a thing, we all know what's going on. And yet, we're not allowed to say what we all know. This drives me crazy, and I'm going to say what we all know.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that. But also, we're going to talk about Trump apparently now going into Chicago.
This
looks like this is going to happen.
He can't do it.
Well, there are ways that he can. It's not necessarily the National Guard, but he could beef up federal forces there. Don Lemon taking it to the street. We're going to talk about why this fool does what he does, and we're going to play a clip of a guy saying just what he feels to Don Lemon.
Can you do me a favor? Pronounce his name Lamon.
Don Lemon?
Don Lemon. It just is funnier. I like it better. Yeah.
All right. Lemon. CBS is changing a pretty major policy for one of their big shows, and that's after Kristi Noem got honorary with him. Cuomo is also former CNNer. His ratings are collapsing. Apparently, he just cannot figure out how to get people to listen to him. We're sort of similar. I feel for him.
I do too. How do you get people to listen to you? Yeah, but he was on a network national news show.
I know.
We are just two local douchebags. We're just two.
Right. Well, not for long. Not for long. Right. Apparently, according to Bob Jordan. So he texted us today.
We're going to take off soon.
Also, a woman's been charged with registering her dog to vote. We're going to read about that story and talk about this thing. All right. Yes, all of that is coming up right now on The Big Show Media Schmedia.
Welcome to Barrett and Baxa Media Schmedia. Everyone else has a podcast, why not us? Come along and join the chosen few as we mock the media and ridicule the ridiculous. Get ready as we excite the ears, irritate the eyes, and tantalize the taste buds. Okay, maybe not the taste buds, but you get the point. Let's get the party started. Here's Steve Barrett and Bob Baxa.
All right, here we are. It's our first midweek episode of Barrett and Baxa. We usually do this on the weekends and roll it out on a Tuesday, but this time we're doing it midweek and rolling it out on a Friday. I might just sneak it in on Thursday.
I trucked all day, so I am a full mother trucker that trucked all day.
Well, I'm here. I've got my licorice whips in my hand,
or whatever that
is.
And
it's a little golf. It's a little golf.
Yeah, no, I've seen you wear that.
And I've got coffee.
That's actually cool.
I always have coffee. I live off of coffee.
I got White Claw because it's nighttime, and I trucked all day. So I deserve a White Claw, what the hell.
Right. You've got your 45 shirt on.
I do. It's actually, look, 45,
47.
Nice.
4547.
To piss off the people who hate Trump.
So, Bob, it's surprising, number one, that I have my mood has been boosted. You gave me a little pep talk on the last episode, and then Bob Jordan called us, and he's been pep talking us today as well.
Like crazy. Isn't it weird that, so I woke up this morning, and there was I go to bed at 7:30, and so I turn off my phone, texts come in, and in the morning, I always, first thing I'll see, did somebody that I want to talk to text me last night? And lo and behold, a text from Bob Jordan, and it said, Bob, I need to talk to you and Steve about your future. And I was like,
that's trouble. That's
like,
usually ominous. Like if you're working in Bob Jordan's newsroom, that is a very ominous text to get.
Because
but we were
Bob
excited.
Was only talking to you to tell you how you fucked up. There was no other talk other than that.
We have to roll this thing out slowly, though. So we're just gonna tease and say that you know we've been in touch and we're working on some things, and hopefully they'll turn out to be big things because we love Bob
it turned out to be
and
good.
we love
He
this
had
podcast and we love doing this. But
we do.
Bob, I can't believe I'm in such a good mood because I was horrifically injured this morning in a horrible beekeeping accident.
I'm not laughing.
Who knew? I didn't. Okay, in my Beekeeping for Dummies book, it doesn't say much. Maybe I missed the chapter about how bees get incredibly angry at the end of the season when you go in and you steal all of the food that they've been making all summer long and you try and take it from them.
Think about if you're a beehive, your entire existence, like not only your job, but like your religion, your God, your family, it's all honey. Like honey is the only thing that matters. And then along comes some douchebag and just takes your shit. Like, and it's not like you're defenseless. You actually have ways to defend your hive. And so you just, why wouldn't you use those
And
ways?
I found out the hard way.
Yes.
I absolutely found out I also found out the hard way.
Why weren't you wearing a beekeeper's suit?
I was wearing a beekeeper's suit, but I did not have the bottoms. So my wife told me you are a cheapskate because you only bought half the outfit. Nice. So what happened was I'm harvesting the honey, which is delicious honey.
Where you didn't have the suit.
No, they climbed up my pant leg, and I didn't have it taped the way I should probably have taped it down. And so all up my leg, I'm stung up, and I had to go to the emergency room, not the emergency room, but the walk-in clinic. And so I'm feeling kind of bad, but it's not as horrible as you might think.
You're bee stung.
Yeah. Nice. Hey, I just decided before the show we are going to call ourselves at one point the EIP Radio Network.
Excellence in podcasting?
Yes. Like Rush Limbaugh, because we believe that, like the great Rush Limbaugh,
we are as good as him.
As good, right? And correct 99.9% of the time. Yes. I think he was only 99.7% of the time.
There's a guy I listen to named Andrew Wilkow. He's on Sirius, and he's a conservative guy. And I love his motto. His motto is, we are right, they are wrong. And I'm like, yes, that's our motto. We are right, and you are wrong. That's it. On every topic. We can't
just keep stealing everyone's mottos and everyone's bits and things like that. We've got to come up with things.
I did steal the best girl from
By the way,
Plant.
I'm curious. I think licorice is a podcast safe thing because I'm thinking that as I eat this, you can't hear me chewing it because it's a very soft chew.
Yeah,
so
that should be good.
Maybe it's a podcast safe.
I got into an argument with one of my the best girl has 5 sisters, as I've discussed before. And a lot of them are conservative, but one in particular is like a raging liberal. And she and I got into it today. So that's going to come back to haunt me. I'm definitely in trouble for that because of the podcast.
Yeah.
She was
yelling at me. We knew it was going to get you in a lot of trouble.
Yes, and it already is. And I'm going to be sleeping in her house in like 4 days. So I have a feeling she's going to be attacking me for stuff we say tonight for sure.
All right, we're going to get into the news now. The Charlotte stabbing. This thing's horrible, and one of the things that makes it so horrible is the video that exists. So, I've been saying that there are always these random attacks, right, where some stranger attacks another complete stranger, and when you read about it, it doesn't have the same impact as watching this poor woman sit down after her day at work, and she's riding home and thinks she's going to get home safely, probably texting a friend or something like that, and then viciously from behind she takes a knife to the side of her neck.
Yeah, it's freaking crazy.
If you so many people have not seen the full video. I have been able to watch the full video, and I tend to do that because as a journalist, I want to know what I'm talking about, what really happened here, and it's just heartbreaking because one of the things that you see is that she doesn't really have a immediate reaction or fall to the floor or anything. She just sort of cringes and goes, "Oh, what happened?" And then she puts her hands in her face in her hands and starts to cry. all the people around her just kind of look over at her and watch the guy walk away, and they have no reaction. I mean, we needed a Daniel Penny on the,
well,
not that he could have stopped it. Not that he would have stopped it, but we needed a Daniel Penny on that train.
We did, but this is what I keep hearing. I'm hearing, like, I listened to this guy named Vince Colonnese, and he's like, no, but these men were sitting there. They did nothing. Well, you know what? Fuck you. Because ask Daniel Penny what happens. Let's say there had been a Daniel Penny on the train. Let's say I was on the train with my 38 caliber revolver, and I see this wild animal stand up. He's got a knife, and he's about to stab this woman. I had stood up and shot him. I'm a white guy. I shot him dead. We all know what the narrative. I'm going to be arrested. I'm going to be charged with murder. The story would be, oh, this poor man, he wouldn't hurt a fly. He just carried that knife because he liked to carve intricate carvings with wood. He was just an artistic man. And all the race hustlers would have come out, and they would have all and I would be the villain of this story. I would be arrested, and I would probably,
You're 1,000% right. 1,000% right on that. But in this case, there was no stopping this one. That's why I wanted to watch it. There was not a situation where, I mean, he just pulled it out, and there was no way anyone could have stopped him. But there was a way that judges could have stopped him. He could have been behind bars, or he could have been in a mental institution, but he was not, because of the policies, the prosecution policies, and the judicial system in our country right now. And it is absolutely broken if a guy like this is out on the street. So,
walking among us. I mean, why can't we have a rule that if you do 3 violent felonies, now I'm not talking about shoplifting, I'm not talking about, even
assaults.
DUI, I'm talking about 3 violent felonies. You physically assault a person, not once, not twice, but the 3rd time, that's it. You get life in prison. Or quite frankly, I'd be fine with you getting the death penalty, but obviously that is probably too extreme. But we give them life in prison. And if we have to build more prisons, so be it. But if you have shown our society that you cannot live amongst us, and you're going to attack, I mean, I was saying, what if this is what white women, I mean, seriously, white women, if you get onto a train, and you saw a mountain lion in the train, you would say to yourself, holy shit, there's a fucking mountain lion. Like, that's a wild animal that might kill me.
But this guy didn't look like a wild animal, Bob. There was no way to tell. The only way that you can tell is what happened in the courtrooms.
No, I refuse to accept it. The bottom line is, in this country...
Bob, the guy looks just like Bob Marley. I mean, he basically,
does.
So you're going to say that you get on in a guy that looks like Bob Marley. You can't say that.
You're going to have to be racist.
No, it has to be dealt with at the court level. It has to be dealt with at the court level, because that's when he proved what he was capable of doing, and even his family was saying what he was capable of doing. What really pisses me off, though, is that this mayor has this attitude that she's glad that the media did not put the video out for a bullshit reason, which is for the victim's family. That's such bullshit, okay?
No, here's why. They didn't want the video because this blows up the narrative. The narrative that our scumbag friends in the media want to put out there is that there are roving bands of white supremacists running around our country killing black people. And was that true in 1840? Yeah, probably. I wasn't alive, and neither was anyone watching this. So, yeah, I guess maybe that was true. Whatever. Oh, let's say it was true. It's not true now. The racial crime in this country, do you know that if you're a white person, you are 30 times more likely to be a victim of a violent attack by a black person than the other way around. So racial crime in this country is black on white. Everyone knows this. The statistics, it's not me, it's the statistics. Black people are attacking white people when there is a racial element. There are no white people attacking black people. here
well,
and
you can't say
there.
there are none.
No, here and there, there's one or two,
right.
and it blows up, and we hear all about it. But every single day, there are crimes that would have disappeared. This one would have disappeared if we didn't get this video. But there is,
and we did.
Right. What was the statistic?
Okay,
I saw?
wait. Let me go back to this. Let me go back to this whole idea of the mayor thanking the media for not releasing the video. Now, I assume that she's thanking them because she asked them, or the police department asked them, and so then they're complicit in this thing because
absolutely,
I don't believe that in any newsroom we were in, we would have held that video back. And we would have told the mayor's office to go fuck themselves,
right?
Because that's what should have happened here. And now, sure enough, it turns into exactly the I mean, I can't assume what the reasoning behind her. You know, she says, "Oh, it's because the family. We didn't want to hurt the family's feelings." But the real reason is kind of came out as it went on that they don't want to lend any more credence to this whole idea of there being crime and significant crime in Democrat-led cities. Okay,
and they certainly do not want the narrative. And we keep seeing all the like Brian Stelter, that guy.
I'm going to play
like
that
Mr.
in just a
Head,
moment.
And all these people, the problem isn't the crime. The problem is MAGA world is now talking. They're using this to put forth the narrative that safer. Crime is a problem, as if that's a narrative. Crime is a problem, and it's not MAGA world that's saying crime is a problem. But listen to this stat. This one I remember. I saw it today, and it really struck me. So last year, 2024, 12,000 black people were killed in a violent crime. Do you know that in the entire Vietnam War, whatever from 61 to 68, I don't know the exact years, but it's years. In that entire war, there were 7,000 black people killed. So every year in the United States, there are way more black people killed violently than there were in the entire Vietnam War. That seems like a big deal, black people. Like
it is a
black
big deal.
Leaders. Where are the black leaders? Why are you not screaming about this?
Well, there are a few of them coming forward, but
your people are being murdered every day, multiple ones a day. Where are the black leaders? Who's the black leader that's coming out? Where are they?
All right, and so let's listen.
Names.
You mentioned it earlier. We're going to listen to Brian Stelter from CNN. Needs to be fired again. Talking about how this is a racial thing, and this just lends credence to the MAGA world narrative. Right. Here we go.
This actually happened last month. It only gained national news attention here in the past couple of days. Why is that?
Right, most murders in the U.S. never become national news. This one's garnered attention for a couple of reasons. Number one, first and foremost, the recent release of that gruesome video. Second, the energy from pro-Trump activists. They picked up on this video from local news and ran with it. It's a little bit like the times when civil rights groups have raised attention about police-involved shootings. In this case, it is Trump-aligned influencers who are posting up a storm about this case on social media. Really, over the weekend, Elon Musk, Charlie Kirk, other Trump-aligned figures succeeded in making this senseless death a symbol of big city crime. We heard President Trump asked about it yesterday when he was heading home from New York City. He didn't seem to know much about it. He said he would get briefed, and then today Trump did know all about it. That's exactly what has happened here. This story has trickled up from local news to social media and now to the president's attention, and it's being used, as you said, Brianna, as a political symbol, with MAGA media calling for more forceful punishments and more incarceration. I have to say, some of the replies to Musk, some of the comments around this story are baldly racist.
All right.
So who cares? So there's mean comments on the internet. Seriously, who gives a shit? The internet is full of fucked up comments. Like, seriously. The problem here is a girl was stabbed in the neck. The problem is not that some douchebag said the
problem is that a girl was
section.
Stabbed in the neck by someone who should not have been on the streets at all. If this guy had no criminal record and was just a nut and kind of went postal or whatever, and there was nothing anyone could do, but that is not the situation here. No. And just like Brian, like Stelter was saying, it trickled up from the local media because the local media held it back. and they didn't make a big deal out of it. I mean, that does happen. The Trayvon Martin thing, we were doing that story, the Trayvon Martin story, probably for 2-3 weeks before it actually hit national news, and then it was ginned up into a crazy thing then. So that does happen, absolutely. But I think the Charlotte the newsrooms in Charlotte should be ashamed of themselves if they, at the direction of the police chief or the mayor or whoever, did not put this video in their newscasts the moment that they had this video in their hands.
100% correct. And let's face it, we all know about the liberal bias in newsrooms. These are all Democrats. They hate this narrative. If a white, Matt Walsh was saying, I mean, we always, it's hackneyed, it's trite, it's so cliched, but the reason it's cliched is because it's so true. Imagine that a black woman who worked in a pizzeria was minding her own business on a train, sitting there scrolling her phone. In comes a white lunatic and stabs her in the neck. It would be nuclear, the level of coverage. Every network would be 24/7. They would not be covering anything else. There would be news crews set up.
Well, look at what happened to Jesse Smollett.
They would have sat trucks.
Jesse Smollett is a perfect example of that. You know, if he and of course that turned out to be a big lie. But right. I mean, why this was worse than what allegedly happened to Jesse Smollett. Right. So, and speaking of Chicago and crime. We need to talk about the possibility that Trump is going into Chicago, or I don't want to say Trump is going into Chicago, that Trump is going to send some federal resources to help. So you said that they really can't just send in the National Guard. I don't know that they're going to do that. But the FBI and ICE and all of them. And look, the Democrats in Chicago are going to scream about that.
Trump has put, and let me just say, totally unrelated, I'm against this whole Department of War thing. So I do criticize Trump. I think the Department of War is idiotic. I don't know why he changed it. To me, it's a better look to be the Department of Defense, the Secretary of Defense. So we look like we're just defending ourselves. We're not going out and starting wars. But that's neither here nor there. The Chicago thing, I think it's unconstitutional. I don't think Trump can do it unless the mayor or the governor asks him. But this is the genius of Trump. Trump's superpower, I've heard this said, his superpower is getting people. He takes the 90% position on a 90-10 issue. And I would argue that crime is like 99-1, and the 1 is the criminals. So like Trump takes a 90% position, and because you people are psychotically mentally ill, you are forced to take the 10% issue. So now you're defending crime. You're literally saying, no, we don't want you to help solve the crime problem in Chicago. That's what Brandon Johnson is saying. No, don't help us.
Okay.
Don't help us solve crime.
Back to the war comment. So we also did a Facebook post where someone made an AI image of Apocalypse Now, and
that was Trump who did that.
Instead of like Duvall's picture, the main character in that movie, they put in Trump, and they put the background, the skyline of Chicago, and called it Apocalypse Now. Right?
Apocalypse Now. Yes,
right.
I saw that.
So then,
and he said,
Trump
"I love
said
this
something
smell
like
of
they're about to find out." They're about to find out what the Department of War is all about, or something like that. So then the next day, a reporter asks him it looked like the White House lawn as Trump was leaving, asked him why he was declaring war on Trump.
Her name is Yamiche Alcindor. She is
Yamiche Alcindor. Well, you can't hear Yamiche say it, so that's why I told you what she said. But you can definitely hear Trump's reaction to it. Let's give that a listen.
He got mad, yes.
When you say that, darling, that's fake news.
Well, why would the Department of Defense?
Listen, be quiet. Listen. You don't listen. You never listen. That's why you're second rate. We're not going to war. We're going to clean up our cities. We're going to clean them up so they don't kill 5 people every weekend. That's not war. That's common sense.
Wait, they actually I think Fox edited that because he said you never listen. That's why you're second rate. And
no,
I think
he said
Fox,
it. You could hear him.
Did he say him?
That's why you're second
rate.
Yeah.
Her name is Yamiche Alcindor. She used to work
that's
for
his other
PBS.
superpower is like smacking down these reporters.
Yeah. That was
I've always
good.
liked that because a lot of times I always felt like reporters were asking stupid questions. I would be at a press conference where there was an important question to ask, and here they come with this stupid gotcha question. Some, politically charged thing that they think is going to make them a star and get them a little airtime on whatever network they work for. But
I hate
with Trump, it never works.
When you editorialize within the question, and we all know what that means, we've all seen reporters do it. They'll be like, "Sir, most Americans think that this is a horrible, disgusting thing you're doing. What do you say to that?" And it's like, shut the fuck up. Most Americans do not think that. You're just editorializing because you hate Trump. So, yes, that is his other superpower. And he did smack this chick down. Having said all that, I'm against calling it the Department of War. I think that's dumb, but whatever. Trump's going to do what he's going to do. I am way less in a cult than you people are. I criticize Trump all the time. You never say Trump does something correctly, so you're the ones in a cult, not me.
Cult, we should add that to the drinking game.
Every time I say cult?
Yeah, and it could be, cult. We want to make it like a serious drinking game, so you have to take a little sip of your girl drink that you.
Or when
I
point, when I go like this, you should drink. That'll be a lot too.
Real quick, we have a want on the crime thing. It was crime in D.C. and the want is from CNN. They had a quote that says, "Crime has declined in D.C., but it has come at a cost." And if you read the story, and then you click on that story, and then the second headline says, "D.C. crime falls, but tourism takes a hit too," as Trump's federal surge reaches the 1 month. I think tourism's probably taking the hit because the crime was bad, and tourism will bounce back after people realize that this is not a crime-ridden city like it once was. So.
Clearly, tourists are more likely to go to a city with less crime. People love seeing National Guardsmen. Like, I would love to see, you want to see.
I think kids like that, too. Kids like to see an army soldier.
Yeah. If you see a cop on the subway train, you feel like, I picked the right car. Like, that's the car you want to ride in. So if you're walking down the street and you see a bunch of National Guardsmen, you feel like, all right, well, at least I'm not going to get mugged on this street. So people actually like
and
that.
In other countries, you feel the same way. Like, you go to Paris, and there are armed officers everywhere. And it looks like armed military people. Same thing. You go to Jamaica. You're trying to get some money out of the ATM. There's someone standing there for you so that you can get money out of the ATM without worrying about being accosted immediately. Speaking of accosted, Don Lamon, I don't know why he does this, but he goes out on the streets of New York and he walks around live trying to talk to people.
I think he just started doing this, and I think he's going to stop because this did not go well for him.
Because of this thing.
Yeah, this did not go well for him.
Yeah, let's listen to Don Lamon as he approaches a perfect stranger on the streets of New York.
How you doing, sir? Good. Can we talk to you? Where are you from? Do you live in New York?
Who are you?
Don Lemon.
You're a fucking moron, dude.
Thank you. So are you.
Yeah, that's very nice of you to say.
Nice to see you.
Except you've never heard anything I've had to say, and I've heard a whole bunch of what you've
I'm glad
had
you
to
watched
say.
me.
No, I don't.
Why?
But you just get clipped everywhere.
I know, but why don't you? You said you don't watch me, but yet you know who I am, and I get clipped.
Before I realized that CNN and MSNBC were full of shit, every once in a while I'd see
What do you watch?
Talking. I watch all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, but why do you say CNN and MSNBC are full of shit?
Because they lie.
But about what? Be
everything.
Specific. What's everything?
Everything.
What cracks me up about that
That'll teach Don Lamon.
He's such a douche. You're going up and asking people to talk to you. The guy says you're a piece of shit, and your instinct is to say, "No, you are. I'm rubber. You're glue. Whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you." Like, who says "no, you are" to a stranger? Like, if I was going up and the guy clearly knew who I was and said, "Bob, you're a piece of shit," I'd be like, "Yeah." My best girl says the same thing. I mean, what's your point? Like, can we still talk? All right, I'm a piece of shit. Speaking of my best girl, she wanted me to point out that even she likes you better than me on the podcast. So
Well,
yes.
tell her I like her better than you.
Right. The only person so far is Aunt Dale who likes me better, but it seems
I'm gonna
everyone
win
else-
Aunt Dale over.
You're going to get her onto your
Don't
side?
worry.
All right.
I've
We'll
got
see.
a plan in the back of my head
I think
to win
Aunt Dale loves
Dale
me quite a bit.
over.
So
Yeah.
we'll see what
So
happens.
hey,
right.
we're gonna move on very quickly. Move down
All
the
right.
rundown here. So we're skipping
Yes.
over a couple things. Don't pay attention to what I have written down there, Bob. I want
right.
to talk about something
look.
that I keep annoying phrases that I keep hearing. One of them is
What is it?
Dems seem to say Trump is living. I'm living rent free in Donald Trump's head. You know, like
Right.
like J.B.
That is a
Pritzker
very
said
popular one.
it, and like different people are
Right.
saying it. But I want to point out that I actually came up with that phrase.
I know.
In
Most people don't
1993,
know
I'm the
this.
first person that ever said living rent-free in someone's head. And I was
You
listening to a
invented this.
Nirvana song. I think I was
Right.
like smoking a joint or something like that, so I was feeling
Right.
a little fun. And I called up one of my friends and I used the term. I said, hey man, don't let me live rent-free in your head. And I should have
remember that.
copyrighted the phrase because now everyone uses it, and I'm sick of it. So I'm
Very common.
trying to figure out how I can stop them from doing that because that
We need to figure that
that's
out.
my
That should be a
phrase.
goal. But
Yeah.
I do remember that you invented
It's
that
like
phrase,
Frank
so good for
Costanza
you.
stopping short. It's my move. They're using my move here.
get on
All right.
camera,
Okay, my wife wants
right.
to know, speaking of best girls, my wife wants to
Yes.
know who gets to decide if someone can call on someone to resign. You know how you always hear, oh,
Right.
so-and-so is calling
Is
on
calling
so-and-so.
on.
Who's the big,
Yeah.
who made you the big sucking calling on people to resign? Like,
Right.
where do we get that from?
don't
How do you
know.
call
I
on
don't
someone
know.
to resign?
And why do you have to call on people? Can't you just say it? Like,
Can't you just
instead
say
of
you
saying,
should resign?
I'm calling
I
on
think
you to
you should
resign.
resign.
Just, hey, resign. Like, why do I have to call on? It's like an extra level that doesn't seem necessary. Just do it. Just
Yeah.
say resign. You don't have
So
to
there's a
call
little
on
bit
them.
of pet peeves.
Yeah, that is
but
kind of
without doing pet peeves. All right. Okay, one more thing, Bob. You told
Yes.
me this week that you still, like, okay, we're going back to your former drug use. Drug Bob,
Yes.
we'll call him. Okay.
Okay.
So Drug Bob doesn't
Yeah.
exist anymore. But
Correct.
non-drug Bob still apparently gets a little scared at a drug test. Is that just...
Yes. So I got notified. I get randomly drug tested as a truck driver, and it's so funny. And a friend of mine, I was talking to him about this. He gets the same thing. When they notified me, like my first thought, my brain went, "Oh shit!" And then I was like, "Oh wait, no, it's fine. I can get drug
clean.
tested. I'm
I
not
can walk
on drugs."
right in.
But yeah, drug addicts tend to be scared. And we also have drug dreams. And I actually just had one last night. And in the beginning, I would have drug dreams all the time. And it would really bum me out because in my dream, I'd be like doing crystal meth. And I'd be like, fuck, I thought I was going to be clean. Like, what happened? And then you wake up and you're okay. There are a lot fewer and further between. But just, I don't know if it was last night or the night before, I had a crystal meth dream where I was buying crystal meth. And the key now, my drug dreams, I actually turn down the drugs in the dream. So I feel like that's how you know that you're like officially clean, when you turn down the drugs in the dream. So I stayed clean in my dream. You'll be glad to know. So
I tend
everything's good.
to have pretty good dreams, but one of my strange dreams is walking into a new job and I forgot to get dressed and I'm literally walking into this new job naked.
I
and
never
I think
had
that
that,
comes
but
back.
that is-
comes
I
from
think
my
it's common.
my young days when I was just a boy or just a
Right.
teenager, living at a nudist colony.
Right.
Because I was a lifeguard at a
must
nudist
be.
colony of all
You've
places
actually
to be a lifeguard.
Walked
at a
into
nudist
places naked. So
Yeah,
it's
so-
actually not that far-fetched.
Yeah. So I think that's what that dream about. My dreams though normally are very good, very fun. I can always.
But am I correct
I
in
can fly
assuming-
in my dreams. Like I can
I
fly
fly,
without an
yes.
aircraft. I can fly
do.
helicopters in my dreams somehow.
I do
And-
fly. My body flies in my dreams. But I wanted to ask, am I correct in assuming that most of the people at a nudist colony are not people you would necessarily ever want to see naked? Would you say that is
It's like a cross section.
probably
It's like
true?
walking into your grocery store. Like how many of
Right.
those people would you want to see naked?
None.
Very few. Of them.
Very few.
Yeah, very
I would
few
say
of them
none.
Would you
Almost
even
none.
think about
Yeah.
seeing naked? And
Virtually
it's the
none,
exact same
so.
thing at the nudist.
All right,
I'm not supposed
yeah,
to call
that's
it
what
a
I
colony.
figured.
I'm supposed to call
I
it a
know.
resort. They
Right,
don't like
'cause
the
you're not
word colony.
lepers.
They're
No,
not
you're not
lepers.
lepers.
That's what they say. But I'm going to keep.
Right.
I'm just going to call it a nudist
It's a
colony 'cause
colony.
that's what
Fuck
it is.
them. They don't get
All
to
right,
say.
listen. So we have
All right.
two episodes coming out a week right now. We're going to do that
Yes.
until we feel like not doing that anymore. But
Right.
we do want you to subscribe to the podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Rumble, Apple Podcasts, and watch some of our shorts. There are
Please.
shorter little versions of what we do. And sometimes some of the shorts are things that are not even part of this show. We'll just do one and it'll be new. Like you did a really good one the other day. You did a great one on the Salvation Army. You did a great one on the whole issue of what can and can you not buy with your food stamps. And you did a good one on gambling and why do we have these gambling commercials that get you so excited only to say, by the way, if you have a gambling problem. So
in case
look for
we
those.
completely fucked up your gambling addiction, just call this number. So.
All right,
those
Bob.
are kind of interesting.
First
All right,
midweek
wrap it up.
version in the can.
worked.
It won't be long before we're going live for people.
Right.
Which
Every day,
and
once-
in that case, you can't take anything back, Bob. So,
That's true.
Yeah.
All right. All right. We'll see you next time, guys.
all right, adios.
Well, that's it for this episode of Barrett and Baxa Media Schmedia. Like, subscribe, and do all that other stuff podcasts want you to do. Become one of the chosen few, the in crowd. You know, the cool kids. The ones who were passed out on Barrett's pool deck long after the party ended.
You don't say I love you like you used to.